During weeks 3 through 8 of this quarter, you will be conducting a research project on a current issue and writing an argumentative research essay based on your findings. The first step in the research process is to choose an issue and create your initial research questions that will lead you to your final topic. We're going to be discussing a method called the stasis theory. And this is a system of questioning that's a great way to investigate an issue that interests you. The stasis theory was developed by the ancient Greeks, but we still use it today. It's a series of questions that you ask about the issue you've chosen, and they help you to develop and focus your final research questions. So this will give you a good start on both choosing your topic and getting one that is not too broad and not too narrow. So the stasis research method is a series of 6 questions that you ask about the issue or topic that you've chosen. The first question is existence. So does a problem actually exist? And you formulate a question about it. We'll look at examples of each of these in just 1 minute. The second step is definition. How do we characterize the problem? The third is the cause. What caused this problem? Fourth, you're going to assign a value to it. Is this something that's good or bad? Is it moral or immoral? Is this method effective or ineffective? The fifth step is the action that should be taken. So what should we do about this problem? And then the final question is jurisdiction. Jurisdiction means area of control. And the question here is, who should decide what we do about this problem? So to help make this make a little more sense, let's take an example here. Let's say that we're interested in childhood obesity. If we tried to tackle that topic, there's just too much there, right? We really need to narrow this down and focus it. So the stasis questions are a good place to start. So existence, does a problem exist? Let's turn this into a question. Are U.S. children obese? Let's go to the next question, and that's the definition. How do we characterize the problem? So in other words, how do we determine if children are obese? So we might ask what counts as obese versus just being a little pudgy or overweight or having some baby fat. Another question we could ask is the body mass index, the BMI that a lot of pediatricians use, is that a reliable indicator? And this is another thing you'll notice about these areas of questions. Often there's going to be more than one question, and the more you can generate, the better. You'll especially see this in the third step here. The third step is looking at the cause of the issue. So what caused this problem? Why are U.S. children obese? Is it video games? Is it fast food restaurants and stuff like Happy Meals? Is it neglectful parents? Is it vending machines in schools? Is it children's programming like Sesame Street had the Cookie Monster? Or is it advertising aimed at children? So you see we have a lot of questions under this category, which is really good because it's going to give us more options as we work towards choosing our topic. So then the next step is value. Is this good, bad, moral, immoral, effective, or ineffective? So let's say we're going to look at what might be an effective resolution for this. So are methods to combat obesity effective, such as encouraging children to exercise more, regulating school lunch? Do these actually lead to healthier children? Or is the real problem here just fat shaming? So like if we didn't make parents or children feel bad for being slightly overweight, is that really the problem? Or is there really truly a problem with obesity? The fifth area to look at is action. So what should we do about this problem? So how should we solve childhood obesity? Should we do things like ban vending machines in schools? Should we encourage limiting television and screen time for children? Should we ban sugary snacks in schools, right? Like making sure that the vending machines don't have those kinds of things in them. Should we put a tax on sugary drinks like sodas or snacks like cookies? Um, should we look closely at children's programming and make sure that we don't have a cookie monster that's talking about how he loves cookies? Or should we ban advertising towards children entirely? Um, should we sue fast food companies for offering special kids' meals with toys that encourage them to beg for those meals? So you notice we've got a lot of questions in this area about if there truly is a problem with childhood obesity, what should we do about it? And then the last step is to take a look at who should decide what we do about this problem. So in this case, should the government be mandating certain dietary rules for kids? Or should it be the schools themselves that are making rules and encouraging exercise and healthy eating or whatever? Or is it ultimately the parents that are responsible for helping children avoid obesity? So again, in this area, you see we've got a lot of questions. So this is just the first step in researching. We took the issue of childhood obesity and we've asked lots of questions about it. So right now, it's still too much to handle in one essay, right? We really don't have a strong focus. So what we can do now is go back and narrow our focus. So if we look way back at the definition, right there we have two different questions of what counts as obese versus just overweight. And we have another question, is the body mass index a reliable indicator? Let's take just that question about body mass being a reliable indicator, and let's narrow that down. And notice when we narrow down, we're going to use those exact same 6 questions. So first, existence. Is BMI used to determine obesity? And then definition, what is BMI? And cause, why is BMI being used? And then value, does the BMI accurately measure obesity? Does it accurately measure health risk factors? And then action, should we be using it as an indicator of unhealthy risk factors? And then jurisdiction, should doctors use BMI to counsel patients on weight loss? Or should health insurers actually use BMI to determine coverage? So it's interesting here. Notice we started with the topic of childhood obesity, but now we've kind of narrowed it down to looking at body mass index overall and whether or not this is something that should be used. So at this level, this could be a good topic for your research. But notice we've really scaled it down. So we're not even talking about children here. The main focus is BMI. So another area that we had lots of questions in is who should be responsible? Like who's causing this problem? And one of the things we brought up is advertisers of junk food. So this would be another area that we could go down. And again, we're going to go through those same 6 areas. So existence. Are advertisers of junk food targeting children? And then definition, what exactly is junk food? What's causing this situation? Why are they targeting children? And are they contributing to childhood obesity? And then fourth is value. Is it moral for them to target children in these ads? Or are these ads effective in making children want junk food? In other words, are they contributing towards this? Fifth, what action should be taken? So should we ban all advertising towards children? Or should marketing for children be restricted? For example, not allowing toys to be distributed with Happy Meals. And then the last step is jurisdiction. Ultimately, who needs to oversee this problem? Is it the government's responsibility to mandate companies to stop advertising towards children? Is it the companies themselves that they need to make a moral choice, or is it the parents? So here we can see we're even closer to a topic here where we're going to look specifically at advertisers and their effect on children's health. So now I'd like you to try this with the topic that you've chosen. So in the week folder, you'll have an exercise called Week 3 Research Questions. You're given a choice of topics, and I want you to try this questioning technique. And as always, if you have questions, please be sure to contact me or drop by during my office hours. You can find all that information under Contact Mrs. Breidenbach on the left side menu.